Welcome to X1T Gaming, and together we're going to revolutionize the gaming industry. So we're just finishing up our last little project here um, on the prototype number 4 while I get it loaded. What uh, what we're going to do in this session is we're going to make the enemy respond, and after he dies, I think they want to spawn a next one, another one, so that the levels get more difficult as they go on. And we're going to do a spawning for the power up as well. So once we get all that coded in and done, we will be done for this prototype, and then we are going to go on to the next challenge, and then we're going to work on a little bit of our little, well, not today, but tomorrow we're going to do the next challenge, and then we're going to do our own game. So part of me has been thinking, what kind of game do I want to do? Because this game that I'm already currently doing is like I like it, and I think I could do it, but I want to do like a better job with it. And so my wife kind of said, "Oh, I want you to make this one game because I really like playing this before, and it's like a potato counter. So just kind of make the potatoes fly by and you can count them, which I think might be a lot easier because that's going to be like this, basically with this project that we're working on right now. It's going to be like that, but instead it's just going to be potatoes, and you're just going to have to try to count them. And yeah, so we'll go and set the computer for you now. But yeah, just because I want to be able to do a more professional game with the game that I currently have a vision of, and this potato counter one, it will be kind of like I'll put it out there, and it'll be like a nice practice to actually get the game onto Google Play. You know what I'm saying? I hope you know what I'm saying. Okay, so we got it loaded, and we're going to do the spawn manager, and we want to have the enemy wave. Spawn manager. So are we spawning stuff right now? We're not spawning stuff right now. Oh no, we are. Okay, so we're going to create a new void. So this one is going to be void, and it's spawn enemy wave. Oops. Spawn enemy wave, and so we're going to create it. So it's going to be a 4, make it an integer, and it goes. Is that an I? Maybe I should watch what's going on because I don't know what this I stuff is. So we got I equals 0, and then we want to make I is less than 3. And then we want to go I plus plus. And then in this, we're going to go instantiate this thing right here. Control X, Control V, and then in the start program, we're just going to be spawn enemy wave. Close it up, and then that's it. So what I think it should do is it should start spawning up by itself, and then after we okay, so we got 3 guys spawning all at once. Oh, oh. Oh, 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 really bad at controlling this. This is pretty hard to control. Okay, I got my power up. Get out of here, boys. Okay. So it's spawning 3 guys all at once. And if I do this again, spawns 3 guys. I gotta watch the video now. Make sure I did that wrong. Write a for loop to spawn 3 guys.
Now, the player can pick up this power-up, and then it'll open up the power-up indicator that'll show when we have our power-up so we can blast our opponents away off of the environment. It's still a little bit too easy, so we're going to introduce a bit more challenge into the game by spawning multiple enemies all over the screen over time. In our Spawn Manager class, we have exactly everything that we need to be able to spawn multiple enemies over time. And in order to do that, we're going to use something called a for loop. Now, a for loop is similar to an if statement, where with an if statement, we used a condition to be able to see if something was true, for example, with something in our game, if the player picks up our power-up. A for loop will enable us to control the iterations that something goes through. So if we want something to execute 5 times, we can do that. For example, if we want to have our instantiate method happen 5 times, we can use a for loop. So, in our start method, if we type in the keyword for, the way a for loop works is that we actually need 3 different parameters to be able to use this loop. First, we need to tell the for loop where to start. So we're going to create a variable in here for our start point, and we'll just call it I, and we'll set it to 0. Now we need to tell the for loop the condition of when it should stop. As long as I is less than 3, then it should continue. Once I is not less than 3, this will make our for loop stop running, since the condition won't be true anymore. And then we need to tell the for loop how we're going to get I from 0 to 3. So we can say I equals I plus 1. Another way that we can do this is similar to how we multiply values by itself. We can just say I plus equals 1. But if we actually want an even shorter way of saying I plus equals 1, we can actually just say I plus plus and see.
Okay, so I'm skipping through.
Going to create a new method down at the bottom. So we'll call
see
is you're going to create a
if it actually works the same way.
You're going to use the variable I spawn enemy wave in, and then just call spawn enemy wave. So what you're going to do.
Okay, so he doesn't even test it. So the I doesn't mean anything. It's just like a letter that you're using for it. Marks. Oh, I gotta reload into this. Sign back in. Okay. Okay, sign back in. Mark step as complete. Now give the loop parameter. So, and this one. So add a parameter integer enemies to spawn enemy wave function. Replace I and so with no I is less than so enemies to spawn. Okay, so what they want to do, so you add an integer enemies to spawn, leave it in there, then you change this 3 to be enemies to spawn. Now let's see what that does. Creates an error. And here we put 3. Okay, that's pretty cool. So now we've made it whatever this is to just be here so we could automatically change it. Interesting. Interesting. So now the exact same thing should happen. Now I got my power up. Get these guys off stage. They don't delete when they go off stage. So we'll probably have to do like a deleting thing. Destroy enemies if they fall off. That's what we're going to be doing next. So in enemy, destroy the enemy's position on the y-axis. So we go to the enemy code, put it in our update. Okay, so we need to go if the transform position dot y is less than, let's say, -10, what they have here, then we're going to put this. We're going to destroy game object. Okay, and then okay. Now they're going to do into the void update. Well, they want another void update. So you go find object of type enemy, the length, if enemy count equal spawn enemy wave 1. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, so in enemies, destroy the enemy object on what less than minus y. So we got -10. You destroy the game object. Okay, okay, that's what's making the thing different. So we want to save this one, and then we want to go over to the spawn manager. But first, let's make sure that this one works. Don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. And then, okay, these guys, yeah, there we go. They're destroyed. Okay, so we got that code working. Then we go to the spawn manager. This is what was confusing me because, like, what you guys see here, I'll show you. Right here, they just have this, and so they have all this stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute, why are they having 2 void updates? That doesn't make sense. And why is this like public integer not in the thing? And then I'm like, but you have the spawn enemy wave, like it's not making. Oh, and spawn manager. See, it takes. It's good to actually like read instructions. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to be making a public integer for enemy count. Public int. And we're going to call this enemy count. Yeah. Oh, he didn't put a no, you gotta have that. I think that they made a mistake in that. They don't have that in the code, which is weird. Okay, so now we go into the void update. Okay, enemy count is going to equal to find object type, find object of type enemy. I might have to go tag it because I don't know if it's tagged. And then we want to do length. Right, length. Does this make sense? Okay, well that's what they say. So if enemy count is equal to 0, then we do, what was it, this one? Spawn enemy wave. Spawn enemy wave 1. Boom. This one doesn't make sense. Maybe I have to get rid of this one. No. There's an error here. Why is there an error here? So find object of the enemy. Object types, yeah, enemy. So I don't think it's gonna let me play. Oh, it is. Okay, let's let's give him power up. And knock him off before it goes away. No. Oh man. Oh man. There we go. We don't need a power up for that guy. There we go. Man, these controls are like really awkward. Yeah. Okay. So let's do where is it? Enemy. Oh, I do have the tag for enemy. This doesn't make sense. I guess we'll just have to write the if statement that if enemy count equals to 0, then spawn enemy wave, then delete it from start. Oh, okay. Gotta read it some more. Then delete it from start. Okay, so we did that. Now this is where it's coming into play. Enemy does not contain a definition for length and no access tensions. Why is he saying length there though? What if I delete this because that's what it says? No. I wonder if it's a spelling mistake. No, they have it. They have it written twice. Enemy count equals find. Oh, objects with an S. Well, that's funny. See, yeah, spelling. Okay, so now there should be one guy coming in. We'll get our power up, and then we'll just kind of say goodbye to him. And now we got one guy coming. But we want to spawn 2 guys. We want to make it a little bit more difficult. But that's cool that now we always have one guy who will spawn every time. Maybe I should just like run off the edge and maybe he'll try to follow me off there. Yeah, it looks like it. Okay, so we got that one. So now we want to increase the enemy count. So now we want to add wave. Yeah, wave number. Okay, so in here we want to make a public integer again, and we want to call it a wave number. Wave number, and this equals to 1. And so now we're going to change this. Okay, I don't get this. Why do they have the spawn enemy wave in the thing and start void start when they just told me to delete it? Whatever. So we'll probably just it's probably just a mistake. So this one's going to be wave number. So we got 1, and then this one's going to be okay, I'm confused. I think they got like something wrong here because they got this stuff in the start and then in the void update, which now we have this in the void update. I think it's this that they want to change. Did I miss something? Enemy count. So if enemy count is to 0, then the wave number going to be wave number, which will be 1. Okay. Okay. Okay, so what they want us to add is wave number plus plus. Okay. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that was just a little bit confusing because they still have the 1 in start that they want us to change, even though it says to delete it before. And then the stuff doesn't go. They don't have these space bars, like one continuous line. Is it working? I didn't press it. Okay, so I got 2 guys. Knocked them out. Nice. Let's just go off, and then this guy should go. And then I should have 4. I got 4, and then I should have 5. I got 5. Wow, I could just keep doing this like forever and ever. I wonder until the game crashes. There's 6. Nice. Nice. We're doing that. So that's kind of interesting. So we got the this wave number right here. So we're going to do like 1 every time it goes more. Okay, mark is complete. We're almost done this. Okay, now we want to do spawn power-ups with new waves. So I think what we're going to do okay, spawn declare a new public game object variable, assign the prefab and the expector, and delete it from the scene. So in start, instantiate a new power up before the enemy wave. Call instantiate a new power up. Okay, so we got to go into spawn manager. Okay, so now we got to do another game, a public game object, and this one's going to be power up prefab. next one's going to be a power up prefab. Let's just kind of make that a little bit different. So in this, we're going to instantiate a power up prefab, and then we're going to generate its spawn position, which will be the same. Doesn't matter where. Then we go power up prefab dot transform dot rotate, right? Yeah, rotation. And we close this one off. And then we do the same thing if enemy count is 0. We also want to do this instantiate. So basically every time we get rid of the guys, we could always get a new power up. Gotta fix stuff. What do I have to fix? Oh, forgot to do that little semicolon. Is this semicolon? Yeah, I think it is. Wait, is that my computer going slow, or did I screw something up? I screwed something up. I forgot to do prefabs. Where is it? Spawn manager. And now we want to do power up. Prefab. There we go. Boom. Spawns one more. Boom. Oops. Ah. Nice. Okay. And now we can delete this one. Yeah, so we got the 2 power-ups. Do we want the 2 power-ups? Boom. Oh. Watch me playing pretty bad. Oh no. Okay. Got the power-ups. Oh, I'm dead. Okay, so mark that step as complete. And then that's it for the lesson recap. So we got all this stuff. We can play around with it if we need to, but that's pretty good. And this is why my wife was thinking about doing the potato counter, because now I could just kind of make it so that they keep on adding potatoes. Potato. Okay, so that's it for that. Next one, we have a challenge 4, which will be a soccer scripting. Just to kind of give you guys a summary of what you guys are expecting for tomorrow. Yeah, okay, so use the skills you have learned in the sumo battle prototype to complete a different context of the soccer field. Just like in the prototype, you will control a ball by rotating the camera around it and applying a forward force. But instead of knocking them off the edge, your goal is to knock them into the opposing net while they try to get into your net, just like in a sumo battle. Every other round, new waves will spawn with more enemy balls, putting your defense to the test. However, almost nothing in this project is functioning. Your job's to get it work correctly. Nice. Enemies move towards your net, but you can hit them in to deflect them away. Okay. So yeah, we'll do this tomorrow, and then I'll let you guys know when we're doing the what's it called, the tutorial lab. When we're doing the lab 4, I'll see if I want to continue on with this ball bounce that I have, or if I want to do the potato counter. I'm leaning towards the potato counter. Leaning towards it. I think it'll be a little bit easier, and I didn't. It's not like the first game that I wanted to do. So like when I was coding, when I first started coding, it's like I want to make this one game, and I want to make it good. And now that I'm learning how to code, I also need to learn how to put my games onto Google Play, how to get paid for it, how to do all that kind of stuff. And I don't know if I want to put my first this game idea that I had to it to be the first one and be the experimental one. So, but the potato counter, I feel like I have no attachment to that whatsoever, and so I'm thinking that I could just whip it up in a few weeks, and then we can try our best to put that onto Google Play, and then have you guys be able to play some of the games that I create as well, which will be fun and exciting to do. Yeah, potato counter is super simple. Um, Basically, what it is just it throws potatoes from a direction, and you just gotta count them. And it also has objects that are not potatoes that are going through as well. And so you just gotta figure out which ones. Um, yeah, you just have to count the potatoes. They have a marker. So they also have, I think it's the Unit 5 a user interface. I think you have like a counter. So what I could do is I could make like a high score per se, where all of these potatoes are going across and getting destroyed, and they have this counter, and then I'll make it that you have to figure out what the counter number is, and I'll have that hidden away so that when you're looking at the camera view, you can't see what the magic number is, and you have to try to guess what it is. Yeah, and then this way, it's going to be right every time. You can't fight it. You can't be like, oh, there was 14 potatoes, not 15. Nope, no, there was 15. It was hiding behind something. Okay, so that's it for today. I will see you again tomorrow at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for the next challenge. As we learn to do this, I'm having a lot of fun doing this. I'm actually surprised how much I'm learning, how much I'm retaining. It's kind of interesting that I don't even need to watch the videos anymore. I can look at the code and be like, okay, that's what they're trying to do. This is what we need to do. Um, and you saw me. When I don't know something, I'll try to watch the videos a little bit. But yeah, until next time, I will see you guys tomorrow. Remember to like, share, and subscribe because that gets to our goal faster.